It can't be too much of a surprise that a movie with 10 original songs was a two-parter, right? So grab another mince pie and another glass of eggnog for another episode of That Song from That Movie. Come and sing with me.
Proper Grimbo selector.
Thank you for joining. Good impression. Thank you for joining That Song from That Movie, the holiday journey through the very best and worst of Christmas movie songs. I am your Pumpkin King host, Dietrich, and we're joined by the man who, every year, gets drunk on mulled wine and writes countless letters to his beloved Daily Mail complaining that you can't even say Christmas nowadays without offending somebody. Alex.
I don't know what to say to that, other than it's not true.
Alex wants to stay as far away from the Daily Mail as possible.
Yeah, which bit are you, do you have problems with? Is it the getting drunk on mulled wine, or is it the beloved Daily Mail?
Yeah, that part.
But you do get drunk.
Yeah, well, doesn't everyone at Christmas?
Asterisk at Christmas.
And he's coming down your chimney, Ben.
Yeah, what an awful experience for anyone at the bottom of that chimney. I need to start my own chimney. That can't be it. Yeah, that's it. No, I need a new flume.
Right, so you've joined us on part 2 of our look at the songs of Nightmare Before Christmas. If you didn't know from part 1, Santa is also here.
Well, he best run away, to be honest, for where we're going soon.
Potentially. But it was Alex in control, so Alex, the power is back in your hands.
Yes. So we are on to song number 4 of 10, and that song is the Town Meeting Song, where Jack returns from Christmas Town to try and convince residents of Halloween Town about the wonders of Christmas, but they don't seem to understand. So, Ben.
It's not really a song for me.
Yep.
Like I say, it's slightly melodic exposition.
Yes.
It's interesting how they do trying to explain these very obvious Christmas staples, like the tree, the stocking, and how the people of Halloween Town react. Other than that, it's not a song.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that in the sense that I'm not sure if it's on purpose, so maybe Alex will have this in his notes.
I don't.
But it almost feels like it's meta, with Jack aware that he's in a musical, and he keeps trying to start a song and dance with like the townspeople.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
But they don't get it, so it keeps breaking off and he has to restart again, which I guess makes it hard to critique as a song, because, as Ben said, it's not a song. So it's not on my perfectly curated Christmas playlist.
Yeah.
What about you, Alex?
I think it's interesting what you guys are saying, because I think we discussed in the first episode that the film was essentially written around the songs, where it feels like this song was written around the idea of a scene.
Yeah.
Where it could have easily been script, couldn't it? But they probably thought, we haven't had a song in a little bit. Probably should make this into one and get it over quicker and without having to come up with as many words. I don't know. It's I think you've summed up with it's not really a song.
It even has song in the title.
The Town Meeting Song. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it myself, other than there's a good bit, isn't there, where it becomes almost like a Shakespearean soliloquy where Jack goes backstage and is like, how do I reach these kids? It's like that kind of moment. And then comes up with a little spiel about Sandy Claws and being lobster red and a bit evil. So yeah, it feels like a throwaway almost. It's essentially there as how does Jack tell the people of Halloween Town about Christmas Town in a way that they will understand it. And I guess it comes back to the idea that they're all content with their lives and he isn't. I think you said it in the first episode, Ben, about how he tries to take over Christmas, but he doesn't himself really fully understand what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. In the scene. It's like he's trying to convince them of what exactly. It's not really clear. Like, does he want them to embrace the sort of festive cheer of Christmas Town? Because he doesn't go down that route himself later on, because he's possibly fundamentally incapable of doing that. So I think this is possibly the first song where the message or what it's actually trying to get across is confused slightly. It's a song that could have probably not been included.
We're saying that a few times.
Yeah, well, we'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on, because there is probably like 3 or 4 almost back to back where you could do without. And the next one of those is Jack's obsession, which I have bracketized, if that's a word. Something's up with Jack, something's up with Jack. So Jack spends some time trying to work out and understand Christmas, and eventually decides to create his own version. So, yeah, what do you guys think of this one? Similar to the last one?
When you said earlier about the Jack being schizophrenic, I was like, is he schizophrenic? And I was just wondering, and I was like, I don't think he is. And then just kind of rethinking and looking back at my notes, I was like, oh wait, yes, he actually might be. Because I think this song as well, I can't tell if throughout this, and maybe that's quite interesting, whether Jack's supposed to be the hero or villain. Because in What's This, it feels like, oh look, it's like childish wonder, like discovering Christmas for the first time. How amazing is that? And then this one, like at the end, when he puts like the Christmas lights around an electric chair, and he's like, Christmas will be ours, and he's got this sort of very toothy, evil grin, and he has the maniacal laugh, and it's like, wait a second, do I want him to have Christmas? I don't know what's going on. And then it also doesn't feel like, similar to the previous song, and a bit what you were saying about the Shakespearean soliloquy, it doesn't feel like a song. It feels like he's just talking to himself. And then there's the delusions of grandeur of like, I can do this. I'm the Pumpkin King, as he seems to say in almost every single song. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it just feels like the musings of someone at the end of their tether.
It does, yeah, because it's repeating so much. It feels like we've already heard this song, and it feels such a drag on the movie. Like, why do we need to hear this again almost? I know it's not exactly the same, but it just feels like we're repeating ourselves. It sort of feels like if this was a full-blown musical, this wouldn't be considered its own song. It'd just be on the end. It'd be something / Jack's Obsession at the end on a soundtrack. So let's just talk about the animation during this scene, because I think it's one of the best shots when he slides across the room on one of those bookcase ladder things.
God, that must have been so hard to do.
And then it just drops and starts dancing with the tree. It's so smooth and pleasing on the eye. It's a wonder how they managed to do some of this animation.
Yeah, and I think actually it's a good point, because in comparison to the last song, which not really much to splendor over in terms of the visual element, this one I think there is a lot of visual things going on, and like when he gets the little telescope and looks at like the berries and stuff, there's a lot of creativity that's behind this scene here, and I wonder whether this was one of the parts where they thought, oh, let's create something that looks visually great, and the song is an afterthought. I know that sounds odd because we discussed that the songs came first, but it doesn't feel like this song is necessary, like you said, in the plot. So it feels almost the reverse way around, that maybe they came up with the scene like, oh, we need to have him singing. It's an odd one, and because like you say, like what even is the result of this song? It feels like it's there as a Jack has a realization of how he can harness Christmas to serve his own goals. But what is that? Like, it doesn't. I know I'm just asking. Like, I don't understand what it actually is that he's achieved here. Because he's essentially like, oh yeah, I can do my own version of Christmas. But it's like, but what is that version of Christmas? Is that version of Christmas what it becomes, where everything goes wrong and it's like a Halloween version of Christmas? Or does he want to do the good kind of Christmas and just do it instead of Santa? It doesn't really. It's not clear.
No,
I've never been able to figure out whether or not he's trying to make a bad Christmas, or if he's got good intentions and it's going badly because it's Halloween Town.
Yeah, but then he doesn't.
I don't know if that's on purpose.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to think that it's going badly either when we get to that part later on.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's confusing.
I think it probably just comes from that like the ideal of how to fix something, like he's going all out when actually it's almost that kind of burnout level of he's trying too hard. It's that expectation of things need to be perfect and that this is the solution to all his problems. I don't think he's trying to necessarily make it better for Christmas or the people of Halloween Town, really. I think it's to stop himself feeling sad.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the antidote for my own melancholia.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that is a theme actually across Christmas films generally, that people see Christmas as this moment or this ideal of like a new start or like a change, and he's seeing Christmas as that.
Yes.
And
yes.
That I think that is what the film is about, seems to be about at the beginning. And like, yes, that can be a self-deception, and maybe he can realise that maybe Christmas wasn't the thing that he needed to change. But I think what happens in this film is that change doesn't come. It's just a realisation that, oh no, the change was probably not what I needed anyway. I'm fine. that's for me where, I feel like at this point I'm still a bit like, yeah, I kind of see what's going on, but still it's not really clear what he wants. But I agree with you, Ben, that maybe that's not entirely important. I suppose he's just seeing it as his way of breaking out of boredom or of his tedious routine. Doesn't really matter whether it's Christmas is
who is going to impact.
Else.
Yeah. It's all for me.
So I think that's probably it. Yeah, but yeah. So we'll move on to, I think, a song that at least introduces something new after the previous two, and that is "Kidnap the Sandy Claws," and it is sung by Lock, Shock, and Two Smoking Barrels. As they are asked by Jack to kidnap Sandy Claws, and they sing about how they might attempt that. I should also mention that these are Boogie's boys, which is a phrase that comes up a lot, which I enjoy. And of course, just after the song, they accidentally kidnap the Easter Bunny instead. So yeah, what do you guys think? Oh, actually, just before we do that, just thinking of the Easter Bunny, then just maybe think about the doors.
Yeah,
the holidays that are chosen that are represented on the doors are really weird. Like, one of them is just like St. Patrick's Day. Like, what
St.
Patrick's Day town? Like, that's the film I want to see.
It's just downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
Or Bawston.
Yes.
It's just the film The Departed is just playing.
Yeah, The Departed. Are you a co-op?
Yeah, with the Dropkick Murphys playing over the top. But yeah, because it's just Thanksgiving. St. Patrick's Day is like, I think, not really the same as Christmas and Halloween, but anyway. So yes, what do you guys think of this song?
Yeah, it is really effective because it's really catchy and you sort of know what they're trying to do. But I can't stress this enough. I cannot stand those annoying little brats singing it. Like, yeah, well done. It's the intention. You're not supposed to like them and you don't want them to win. But it all encapsulated by one line, which is then Mr. Oogie Boogie Man, and it cuts through me.
One more time, Dave. One more time.
Then Mr. Oogie Boogie Man.
I need that soundbite for my own personal text.
Oh my god, it hurts me to my very soul. The rest of the song, even the other bits that character sings, I enjoy, but that one line, it gets to me. And it's not even an interesting line. It's just annoyingly sang.
Yeah. Again, I think it's good world building of are these children? Are they supposed to be children?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they are twisted as.
Yeah, they are.
Some of the things they're shouting, but again, when I think of children can be cruel, probably a lot crueler than a lot.
We can. Thanks, Mum.
But some of the lines are incredibly twisted, and almost that childish buoyancy alongside it it's quite a weird dichotomy, how they do it. But there's that really weird line, if we do this, Jack will beat us black and green. And it's like, whoa. Clearly, this is a very ruling with an iron fist from the Pumpkin King. Like I say, I like the world building. The song is awful.
Yeah, it's one of those that just really grates, isn't it? Like you both said.
Very clever.
Yeah. I mean, the line that really got me was kidnap Sandy Claus, tie him in a bag, throw him in the ocean, then see if he is sad.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be sad? Tie him in a bag and throw him in the ocean. It's enough to make anybody depressed.
It is nice to say, though, that they do say put him in the special brew, so it's nice to know that special brew does exist in this world, so it's clearly why they're all so off their face, just mad all the time. They've been supping the super.
Yeah. I think as well, what the song does as well is introduce you to the idea that there even within Halloween Town, there is somebody who is evil, beyond, in terms of the children, but also the Oogie Boogie Man. So nicely put it. So yeah, it's like you say, it's good in terms of world building, Ben, and it introduces something new into the film when I think it needs it, which is the character of Oogie Boogie, and an actual villain, because like you said, up until this point, it's not clear, is Jack a hero? Is Jack evil? So I think it's a necessary song, and the voices actually of the kids are, two of them are Danny Elfman and Catherine O'Hara. They clearly didn't use a lot of voice actors for this film. We'll move on to the next song, although I have no notes on it, and that is Making Christmas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No notes.
No notes. Well, other than the fact that the song just happens while the residents of Halloween Town are making Christmas presents, and generally they're making things that wouldn't be received well by the general population. Let's put it like that. Do you guys have any opinions about this song? I think it's probably the most throwaway one of the entire film.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I wrote my notes 10 minutes after watching the film at the weekend, and I could not remember what this song was.
Yeah.
And I still can't now.
How is a bat hat better than a rat hat?
Just is, man.
Just is. I've got to accept it.
You just need to know. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this film like 15 times in the last couple of weeks, and I still don't really remember how this one goes.
No. There's a lot of melding into one, I think, from this point on.
Well. So we won't linger too much on it. It's quite dull to look at this one as well. There is a couple of things going on.
It's very grey.
Yeah, it's very grey. It's when you really realise that Halloween Town is very much just that grey backdrop with not much happening. I think what's interesting actually about... I think you mentioned it before, what's this... when we talked about what's this in the last episode, that it looked very real in terms of there was a lot of just going on in the background. I think what they said about Halloween Town was that they wanted to make it look a bit like a pop-up book. And I think, with this song, you really see that it does feel a bit flat, and there isn't much going on.
It's probably not what they were going for.
Yeah.
Got you. Flat.
Got you. Flat.
Can easily be put away.
Bit boring.
Only going to look at it once.
Let's fold it down and move on to the Oogie Boogie song. Whoa. Which is the only song, really, that's sung by someone other than Danny Elfman or Catherine O'Hara, and that is a cabaret singer called Ken Page. And it is Sandy Claus has been kidnapped by Lock, Shock, and Barrel, and they have taken him, against the wishes of Jack, to the Oogie Boogie Man in a very satisfying sack. They deliver him there, and then this weird sort of quasi-sexual performance begins.
Whoa, what a phrase.
So what do you guys think?
I just feel like, like you were saying, like, even in the realm of Halloween Town, there's something that's bad and scary. Could they made it more than a pillow?
A sack.
I mean, like, when it's like Seam comes out and like the spiders, yeah, that's kind of cruel. But in general, it's a neon pillow. Like, I mean, come on, Tim. I know there's some weird shit in your head. It's got to be more than this. Also, yeah, it just reminds me of like it's like the crab song in Moana. It's just like the left field song.
It's exactly. Yeah, that is 100% inspired by this, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, even the phosphorescence and everything.
And villain songs are always the weakest songs. And this one, Oogie Boogie's song, is just no different.
Doesn't mean they're bad, they're just the weakest.
It's bad in this case.
Oh, yeah. But usually the villain song is the weakest, just doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, I think there are worse songs in this than this one. But in terms of the main songs, like, if we were to cut out the ones that feel like just there for exposition, like Town Meeting, Song Jack's Obsession. If we're talking about the main songs, this is the weakest, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't help, for me, I don't know if you guys agree, that I just don't care about Oogie Boogie in this story.
Yep.
He doesn't really have a role in the story when you think about it.
No.
Like, Jack's the main character, and nothing that he does in the first hour would be different if Oogie Boogie wasn't there. Like, he still discovers Christmas Town, pushes to have a Christmas... Well, to embrace Christmas in Halloween Town, still gives Santa his vacation, in inverted commas, still ignores Sally, still fucks up gift giving, still decides not to do it in the future. That's it. That's the story, and Oogie Boogie's not in that story.
No, he's not included. I 100% agree. Like, it feels like they needed something in there as an antagonist in some way, or to provide an ending. So it feels like this character is shoehorned in there. He is just a burlap sack who glows green. Did this scene remind anyone else of Quasar?
Yeah.
Just
and like an old style ghost trains.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I did say at the beginning that this is like a quasi sort of sexual like thing.
Quasar-sexual.
Quasi-quasar-sexual.
I mean, do you guys get that vibe that it's weirdly like it's kind of he's about to commit some sort of crude erotic act upon Santa?
It's like he's about to start playing My Sharona.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. God, that's a deep dive of a reference.
Yeah, there's just something of it like creepy, but not in a scary kind of way going on here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
He's got a very sort of velvety voice as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah, it's one of those ones in which, like, you know, if you you're not gonna stop your kids from watching this film because it's too scary. You're gonna stop it because that's gonna remind them of that creepy uncle that visits at Christmas time. That's busts out. He's had a few too many eggnogs, and he's asking if you've got any sort of like he's asking for your dress up outfit so that you can start singing. I don't know, like Cyndi Lauper or something.
Wow, that was very specific. Something you're not telling us. But I mean, like, this song isn't the only time that his kind of like creepy, weird sexual nature comes out, because there's the part later on when Sally sort of like has her disembodied leg like sticking out. He's like, ooh, a leg. And he like gets distracted.
He's been locked up, bless.
Yeah, so it's a bit odd. But yeah, I've not got too much more to say.
I don't think we should.
Well, the only thing actually, which you guys are probably happy about, was that originally the song and the scene was longer, and it was actually cut just for narrative purposes because it was going on too long, and it was just not relevant. Probably doesn't serve much of a narrative purpose other than to introduce him as a character, and like we've established, there isn't much point to him as a character anyway, really.
He sort of feels like he was added to the film for merchandise.
Oh.
Do you know who did the cover for this in the sort of remade album?
Go on.
Rodrigo y Gabriela. You know, the sort of classical guitar playing.
Yeah, like sort of Spanish.
What is that going to sound like?
So we shall move on to the next song, which is kind of a return to form, or it's certainly a return to a kind of motif from earlier in the film.
It's to return to a song.
Yes. And that is where it's got song in the title, and it's Sally's song, which is sang by Catherine O'Hara, who did the voice of Sally, and also plays Kevin's mum in Home Alone, of course. And Dee will mention that she's in Schitt's Creek.
She is.
And she was also in Beetlejuice, of course, so another Tim Burton connection. So so this comes as Sally is lamenting over the fact that Jack is going into this weird Christmas concoction, and it could go drastically wrong. And also it's a bit of it's a song of a longing, I suppose. A longing for Jack, or the way that she wants Jack.
Yeah, it's like the song of unrequited love, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's go there.
So it's also known as Eponina's song.
Should not even be compared to that banger.
True. I mean, it's thematically the same, I guess. Maybe not musically.
It polishes the boots of that song.
But in fact, actually,
it didn't come first. That's what you're about to say.
No, I was gonna say, like, visually, it looks similar.
Oh yeah,
it does actually. Yeah, with the gate as well.
Does, yeah,
like the cobbled street
and
and
that's interesting.
the big iron gates.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. It does look similar. This is more grey, although that is a very wet scene in Les Mis,
in the movie. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of this song?
I mean, I quite like it as a song. It's one of probably the top half of the songs in this. But to me, it just kind of reminds me just that, for me, Sally is such a poorly developed character in this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, why have her?
Yeah. This song is completely unearned in the film. Yeah. You've taken a 5-minute break for Sally when the amount of character development she's had so far is that duck professor basically went, "I made you."
I just think they could have done a lot more with her. I mean, it's an 80-minute film. You're trying to do a lot of world building and a lot of exposition. But yeah, it's just very much like, notice me. Why won't you notice me? I'm doing these things for you. Why won't you notice me? And like I said, I like the song, and I think it fits that mood and what we do get of her character. I just think they could just do a lot more. I think he made up for it in Corpse Bride.
As in the character, yeah.
Yes, well, that case, that sort of similar character, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And Sleepy
I
Hollow.
think there's not much wrong with this song other than the fact that the rest of the film lets it down in terms of it doesn't build up to this moment. It just feels like it's shoehorned in. The character of Sally very much is. Of course, we'll see this song reprised at the end where Sally and Jack sing it together, different lyrics. But again, that doesn't make much sense because the love story again is not important to this overall narrative,
and it's not important to Jack himself.
Like where he doesn't even register it. Like, and then at the end, it's just like, oh yeah, no, of course we were meant to be together. And this feels like there's a concept here that's not stitched together correctly in terms of the script, and the songs don't do enough on their own to create the idea or to build the characters, because songs, I don't know if they can do that by themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that it's let down, but I think it is a nice song. I think it's one of the nicer songs. I think if you listen to them all in isolation, it's very well written, and I think it fits with the better songs. It fits very nicely in that collection of songs, but not as playing a role in a film, because it just feels like it shouldn't be there. But again, not much more to say. Catherine O'Hara apparently was very, very nervous about singing because she had never done that before. But I think the performance is nice. It's kind of it reminded me a bit of the performance in Prince of Egypt of When You Believe, in that it's quite tender because it's not overly produced, so it feels quite natural. It feels like the character is singing it, which I think is a nice touch. And I think that's kind of one of the things that does really work well in this film, because we talked about Danny Elfman as well, that it feels like it's the character singing. It doesn't feel like it's these big, massive, overly produced numbers, that except for maybe the Oogie Boogie song. And so I think that definitely has that going for it. But I just wish it kind of fit more into the film, or that character was developed a bit more. So we'll move on to what is really the last proper song. The song is Poor Jack. What do you guys think? Jack's just been shot down by the military and has landed on a statue, dressed in his Santa Claus outfit. Everything has gone drastically wrong, and without much reason, he changes his perspective on everything that's happened so far. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a bit like Jack's Obsession song for me. Just watching him shift through various stages of grief, shame, depression, despair, elation, mania. I've got to sort some things out, and then back. I think the song's pretty poor, but it's quite interesting to watch. I do think Jack is a very interesting character.
It feels like they're trying to wrap up the film in a neat little package, but it doesn't work. It doesn't land. But it's more Danny Elfman singing with his shockingly great voice. So there's that.
Yeah, well, I think it's for me, is a parallel to the second song, the Jack's Lament song, and it's trying to do the same thing, but instead of introducing an idea, like you say, it's trying to wrap up an idea too quickly, and the film just hasn't. Like, you used a really good phrase when we were talking about the last Sunday about earning the song, and I still think the film earns the song. The shift of his character he just flips so quickly from like disappointment at how like this whole endeavor has not gone the way he wanted, to being like, no, but the reason it didn't do that is because actually I was better off as I was as the Pumpkin King in my original role, even though at the beginning of the film I hated it so much that I decided that I wanted to change. It's this point where the film actually loses me, because then you have that whole weird finale where he goes and battles Oogie Boogie to save Sally and Santa for no real reason other than he likes them more than him. There's no real reason for him to do that necessarily, because we've not really seen much of a connection between him and Sally up until that point. Does he really care about Santa? Not really, because he's kidnapped him.
Yeah, it's almost like he saved Santa because the audience cares about Santa.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
As in the children watching.
It's like, we have to save Santa, so he has to save Santa. But there's no real reason for him to do that, because he's already had his moment of revelation that he wants to be the Pumpkin King. And is it something that the Pumpkin King would even do? I don't know. It's just this song. Even though I quite like it, because I like the way, I do like the tonal shifts that it has in there, because it's trying to develop the character in a way that feels finite, like it's fully developed. I just don't think it delivers on that properly. I mean, we can talk about the finale song, which comes after that scene with Oogie Boogie. Snow arrives in Halloween Town, which I think is the only actual fundamental change that happens in the story.
yeah.
But again, probably only there just to serve a really beautiful final shot when Jack and Sally are singing together on top of the hill in front of the moon. And it's a reprise of Sally's song, but Jack inexplicably is now in love with Sally, and no one really knows why.
Yeah, it's not earned at all again.
Yeah, but this 100% goes back to the idea that of the poems and the visual element of it. Like, it looks stunning, this final shot.
Oh, yeah.
And having a creepy spidery skeleton and a zombie lady falling in love, standing on top of a hill in the snow in front of the moon. It's a beautiful idea, but in the context of the film, doesn't make any sense other than it's an apparent ending. It's a definite visual cue to the audience that the film has ended.
Yeah. Just feels like it should have been another 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, it just feels like they should have spent more effort on developing that side of it. If that's indeed how they always want, if they knew that was the final shot, then that's actually what it should have been building towards, rather than the Jack as Santa moment.
Yeah, just a few
Yeah.
occasional sort of
Yeah.
interactions between Jack and Sally, just to know they're aware of each other. Like, this isn't just some almost love at first sight. But the film is supposed to be odd.
Yeah, the film is supposed to be odd, and I feel
Yeah.
that part of the reason why it's got such a cult status is because it feels so like weird, and it's kind of like you have to fill in the gaps in a lot of ways. But that's why it works as a sketch pad with accompanying poems. Is that it's kind of like you fill in the gaps yourself, But then when you're watching a film, the script has to do that in some ways for you, and that's what's missing probably.
Yeah. It's quite like Alice in Wonderland in a way, like that.
Yeah, it's like a series of connected like just scene after scene after scene, but not really much of the thread. But yeah, so that's my entire notes.
Top 5.
So, watching this film the other day reminded me just how amazing the world of stop motion animation is, and we have reminded ourselves of a few of the great stop motion films for which we feel they are anyway. But I want to know, according to the website Rotten Tomatoes, what are the 5 greatest stop motion animation films?
Feature films.
Feature films.
Ooh, okay.
And does that mean like the full film is
fully film
stop motion?
The fully film.
Yeah. Is the fully film stop motion mush?
What's a film that's half stop motion? Like Monkey Bone?
Like Jason and the Argonauts, like RoboCop.
Right. I don't think RoboCop is that stop motion. Is the
Yeah, Ed 209.
Wow.
Did not know that. Okay. No, I think these are all stop motion.
Well, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay. Yep. In there.
Nailed it.
Number 4.
Coraline.
No.
Wait, do you say that? So Coraline's not in the top 5?
Coraline is not in. No, it's in the top 10, but it's not.
So this is the highest rated, on Rotten Tomatoes.
The highest rated, yeah, so, so the percentage.
Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Yes, Curse of the Were-Rabbit's number 3.
Ooh, okay. Chicken Run.
No, Chicken Run. Chicken Run is the highest box office of any sort of stop-motion film, I think.
The Isle of Dogs.
No. Good shout, though. Great film, but no in this.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, number 5.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo and Two Strings, number 2.
Oh, dear, good one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a French film, but it's in English.
Chocolat.
'Cause it's
Mary and Max.
No. Good. Oh, no, it's good, though, that one. That's another good shout. I think that's Australian. Came out in 2016.
Oh, 2016.
Is it something we would know?
I don't know, because I don't know what you watch. I have seen this film.
Is it? And this is number 1?
Yes, number 1. 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Often goes by 2 names. The last word is a type of vegetable.
Big Carrot.
Yes, then you well done, D. It's Big Carrot.
Of course, Big Carrot.
You got any guesses, Alex? You want to throw out?
The film is called My Life as a Zucchini or My Life as a Courgette.
No, never heard of
You
it.
should watch. It's about a kid who like a foster home. Technically, there is a different number 1, but I don't include it because it has no review since it came out in 1937, called The Tale of the Fox.
Of course.
But that's not really fair when you've got like 2 reviews to give it 100%. It's such as why I think Superman 3's Metacritic is 100 out of 100.
I can't believe that Coraline wasn't in the top 5. I would consider that the best.
I know Coraline was a number 8.
Yeah.
Some people did not like it, but that does not mean much. Again, it's how much it's liked, not necessarily how good of a film it is.
Right, so now it's time to do Best Song. Obviously, we didn't give us away in the first episode, so this is going to be quite the segment. The shock of you saying something other than, what's this, would put me in the hospital.
What's this?
It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Brilliant, love it.
Dear, can see that coming a mile away.
What's your favourite song?
It's Jack's Lament. No, it's What's This. But Jack's Lament is my second favourite song.
What about you, Ben?
It's What's This, and I think What's This is probably better than the entire film.
Yes.
We're not
Agreed.
doing sort of song or movie in this, but I just think What's This might be better than the entire film. I love the film, but that song is just absolutely genius.
It's another that scene with that song from that movie problem. I like What's This too much to pick anything else, and it is the most Christmassy song.
I mean, the choice there was like 3 songs to choose from, really.
The film starts off strongly. I think I genuinely believe
yeah,
the first 3 songs are the 3 best songs of the film. The rest of them you can skip over.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the film you can skip over.
It's all concept. It's all concept, all style.
So that brings it into another episode of That Song from That Movie. Let us know which song you think is better on Twitter, Alex, what is our Twitter handle?
TSFTMpod.
Nice. And you can help the podcast by sharing this in many places. One of the places you can share it is Reddit. But Ben, what random subreddit should they pick this week?
The Flyleaf subreddit.
Fair enough. So you can also help the podcast by buying our merch, signing up to our Patreon, and a third thing, which I've forgotten, leaving a review. Leave a review, 5-star review, wherever you get your podcasts. The links are in the show notes and on social media. So all that's left now is to do some goodbyes. It's goodbye from myself and Santa.
He stayed the whole time.
Certainly did.
Disapprovingly, but he did stay the whole time. And it's goodbye from Alex.
I'm a master of fright and a demon of light, and I'll scare you right out of your pants.
Is that Oogie Boogie? Be more sexual.
It's actually not, it's just going to, but if it was said in Oogie Boogie's voice, it would definitely be sexual.
And goodbye from Ben.
Have I possibly gone daffy?
Yes.
So goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Toodles.
I'm only an elected official. I can't make decisions by myself.
Take that, all politicians.
I think it probably just comes from, it's that, like, how was I going to put it then? I think I've forgotten what I was going to say. Damn. Oh well.
I'm sure it's something brilliant.
It probably was going to be.
But just pretend you said it. Oh, it was such a good point then.
Oh, wow. Wow.